Good morning. Another beautiful day out here. The sun has just come up. It's actually a little past 9 and the sun has just come up. Come with me and let's have a look at the daily operation of SHEARWATER. One of the first things that has to be done is sort of the changing of the switches. Right here on the circuit board we have to turn off the lights, for instance. We got to sort of switch from nighttime electronics to daytime. Alright, I got the strobe out. What I do is I tie it on the right on the bimini where it's white, so that every time it blinks a huge white reflection goes out, or so I hope. I get a lot of fun out of this because the purists are aghast that I'd put a strobe on a boat at night. Very against the regulation, shall we say. We're now going to do a walk around the boat to see what happened during the night. Make sure that everything was the way it was when the night came and when I went to bed the few times last night. I'm going to start walking up the boat. First thing is, you see chafing is going on here with this preventer line. So I put some very nice tape there, you see, and to stop it from doing just what it's doing and go right through the bimini top. Here's their preventer line attached to the cleat. Not very pretty, but actually all correct. All looking good. Gosh, I hope that's correct. Yes. So now we're checking on the sail. Here we have the third reef in, so there's a whole bunch of sail at the bottom here, not knowing what to do. It just sort of hangs around and billows out. So these lines are designed to hold it in a sense, but what happens is after 24 hours of scraping against, i.e. that red thing, it puts a hole in the sail. So here's a place that I always check very carefully. This attaches the boom, which has this whole big sail on it, to the mast. And not 4 months ago, this nut right here, I'm going to take that line away, this nut right here gave way, and it wasn't 4 minutes before this boom would have been flown off the boat. So I checked this pretty carefully, this whole connection here to the main mast. Then we do a quick walk, hopefully it's not too wet, to the front here. We go to the tack of the sail, which is where I'm headed. Make sure that this line, which I'm a little concerned about, is not, see this, all this chafing here. I've got to change that. I think I can get to the Marquesas, but I'm watching that pretty carefully. Another issue are these silly shackles. This pin, they can just work themselves right out, and in all the years of maritime this or that, they've never figured out how to keep these damn pins in, except if you wire them in like this, which is, I find ridiculous that we have to do that, wiring in to make sure they don't come out. Anyway, so that one's wired, that one's not, but it's hanging in there. So I'm pretty happy that all that has remained the same. Rope, all these lines are looking pretty good. So we're in good shape up here. A visual check has revealed nothing, which is exactly what I want. All this looks healthy, and we've just done a round trip and we are back in the galley. Now we are squeezing this wonderful Galapagos orange. We're about 400 miles from the Marquesas, and cheers. Heavenly. And of course I forgot, very important before breakfast and all of this, is to put an entrance into the log. So here we have the date, 6/5/0830, that's the time, and there are all the particulars, our position, how fast we're going. Not going very fast today, but... Alright, well, the first thing I do is I check to see whether the cereal has any bugs in it. I really don't want to eat bugs, so I sort of look down there and see if anything is moving. Good dollop of yogurt. I bought it in Panama, and the due date was April 24th, about a month and a half ago. So I'm hoping it's alright, and if I perish, we'll all know why. now comes one of my favorite parts, communication with the outside world. Isolated here, nobody, don't talk to anybody, well, a few people hanging around the boat, but they don't count. And now, I get to go to this machine right here and talk to the rest of the world via the emails that come in. So I'm going to write a few, and hopefully somebody sent me an email. Well, let's have a look. Well, I'm so disappointed. I can't get out. This SSB radio, 1940s technology. It's unbelievable. Anyway, first disappointment of the day. I have to wait now until the evening before this thing called propagation. Very, very complicated. This is the radio that brings in the email that didn't bring in the email this morning. It's the most expensive piece of equipment on the boat. It brings in via radio waves communications with other boats of the same funny machine, and yet it's 1940s technology. Listen to this thing. Doesn't it sound right out of the 1940s? Whoa, whoa. I mean, tell me that doesn't sound like what they had on the Titanic. Excuse me. Oh, well, that's a little bit better. Now let's try and get this this water out of here. We've been having a bit of trouble with this water lately because the waves have been so big that they've been crashing the bottom of the boat and coming in the drain holes. So it's not really a leak, but well, as you can see, our water supply is dwindling, and that's why we're going to go and turn on the water maker. A wonderful machine up there, but clearly we need to start making some water. Well, here we are in the starboard forward compartment, and it's the home of a lot of things, all the extra sails there which I never use, but more importantly it's the home of the water maker, and it lives down here very quietly, and when we need, it does the most magical thing. From all this salt water around, it changes it to fresh water, and we have abundant supply of beautifully sweet tasting, completely unsalted water. Let me show you. Let's see, it's this this button right here. There she goes, grunting away, and the magic starts to happen. Water's... Alright, the wind has, feel it flapping here, means that there's more motion from the waves hitting, affecting the boat, shall we say, than there is wind to push the sails and keep them taut. Clearly an indication we're in very light winds. Now, I have the third reef up, so the project today is to get it at least to the second. Now, the interesting thing is that you're supposed to do a reef like this in about 3 minutes. But here we go. We're going to take out the third reef and go to the second reef. Okay, she's in. Oh, well, if I do say so myself, some good work today. Cheers. I wish that nasty crew of mine would do some work, but they never do. They just leave it all up to me. I don't even know where they are. Anyway. You know, a veteran sailor from the Pacific, actually, and a real veteran, old guy named Curly, said before departing Panama with much good advice, he said, "Do not do without." And when I asked him what that meant, he said, "Don't change your routine. So if you have a glass of wine or two with lunch or dinner, have a half a glass or one glass, but don't change your routine. Don't do without. So while I'd always been very Spartan and very strict, I embraced that philosophy very quickly, and here's evidence of it. All right, let's. The wine is very good. We know that. Let's see how my my fish came out. All right. Very good indeed. I was introduced to this fish in the Galapagos, and before leaving I took a few fillets from there and put them in the freezer, and they are very, very good. So it's a good lunch. We're sort of halfway through the day, keeping Shearwater going. It's a wonderful day. I'm going to show you. Well, after lunch, this is time to put some sleep in the bank. You never know what the next night is going to bring, so